Well, hello there, everybody. Foxman coming at you with a new series, a new video. They're few and far between these days, but I do hope to remedy that. Problem is, I haven't had that many games that have been able to hold my attention for long enough. But what I have before you is Darkest Dungeon. If you're not looking at the screen or you don't know how to read, that does indeed say Darkest Dungeon. And I'm not going to talk too long before we get into it, but just to get my thoughts out there as quickly as possible as to what this game is. Well, it's a few things. It's a roguelike, it's a turn-based RPG, it's action-y, adventure-y, sort of. It's got a lot of these different genres and subgenres and all that kind of mixed together. It's a lot like, if you listen to metal music, you'll probably know what I'm talking about when I say there's like so many styles and genres and like mixtures of each one. It's like progressive post-math rock with fusion core and a little bit of power metal thrown in there for good measure. You're just kind of like, well, what the heck? Let's just call it metal. So I don't know what you would just call this. Roguelike turn-based RPG. That's, I guess, as close as we're gonna get. But it's really cool. Let's kind of get into it, and as we go, you're probably gonna see a lot of games that you'd say, oh, it's very similar to this, very similar to that, like This War of Mine, XCOM, Faster Than Light, so on and so forth. Not to say that they influence that, but you'll definitely see, elements from each of those games in this. And on paper, that could be good or bad, or actually, it could sound good. But I put about 15 hours into this game, and I can say they've actually kind of delivered. It's a very, very, addicting game to me right now. So, anyways, what we're looking at here is, campaign. So, campaign is kind of like it keeps going on and on. We have heroes, there's a continuous supply of them, and so we don't really lose. But at a certain point, you'll run out of steam. You're like, I can't go any further because I screwed things up so bad that even though we're getting more and more heroes, it's just impossible. You will see all this stuff. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I have a tendency to ramble at the start of these videos. So anyways, we'll cross those bridges as we come to them. But our campaign here, this is one. I've deleted a bunch of the other ones because they were just taking up space, but this is Ultra. This is one I named this. You can see here it tells you where your party currently is in the hamlet. That's your little town, your little main camp. And week 21. So that's actually that's a few hours into this campaign. You'll see each turn essentially is a week. So that's fairly far in. But we're going to start a new one here. And one thing I don't quite like is you're like, well, how do I name this? When you go into the town, you'll see that this would actually be called the Ultra Estate, right? That's why I named it Ultra. So consider that when you're picking your name. So, like, you could just put your name, maybe I could say Fox, the Fox Estate. That sounds pretty good. Actually, you know what? That's not bad. But you know what? Let's go with Mouth. We're gonna go with the Mouth Estate. That just sounds awesome. So we'll hit enter there. So that is created, and we're just going to jump on in. Oopsies, click it. You got to click that. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. It is a really fun game. Let's watch this little thing. I'm gonna shut my mouth in case you haven't seen it. It's a little intro video.
Arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
We're gonna find it. We're gonna find our redemption. You're gonna help me, I'm gonna help you. Okay, let's go. This is loading up right now. A little bit of loading. Games do that from time to time. They gotta load up all this information. But at least we get to look at this very nice town. Very picturesque. Alright, here we go. Now we can press space or click to continue. I'll press space. When you start a campaign, at least right now, this is an alpha version, I should state. This is an early access. Not to toot my own horn, but you'll probably seen a few other people playing this game and putting out some videos or doing live streams of it. And, you know, they've been given access a few days before the general public is able to buy access to the game. But this is one of the games that it's been at least a year, maybe 2 years. I don't even know. I was one of the very first backers of it on Kickstarter. I just saw it, and it looked very promising. And I think, to me, the way they did their Kickstarter campaign, they laid a lot of this stuff out on the forefront. So I was like, okay, I kind of know what I'm getting into. It looks like these guys have a really good idea. I mean, I love the aesthetic, and even all this time later, they've kept to the same art style and everything. And just, you know, they had a successful campaign, and it's good. Actually, Vancouver-based developer, and the name, of course, is escaping my memory, even though it flashes up in front of you every time you start the game. But alas, it is early access, so keep that in mind. But regardless, it's at such a state that it's very good for making, or it's definitely passable for doing a series or starting videos on. It's going to keep us very busy until they release betas and later versions of that, and I don't foresee things changing too drastically. Cough, goddess, cough. Anyways, here you can see where it's going to kind of tutorialize this first bit, which is fine. I don't need it, but I'm going to kind of show these screens and go through them for you guys in case you haven't seen anybody else play or you haven't played it yourself. And it's just, you know, it's good. Anyways, this is the map navigation. So what it says, you are currently in a room. To move forth, click on another room on the map display. This will take you to the connecting hallway. So some of the user interface elements can be confusing at first. You're like, what the heck am I doing? But basically, this torch here, you know, Darkest Dungeon torch it's a very important element of the game. Actually, when we're hovering here, you can see having a torch that's very bright. Right now, it's 100 radiant, which 100%. It helps us for scouting and monster surprise. You'll see how that works later on, but those are very good, very important things to have. So you always want to keep your torch kind of well lit. So to do that, you just basically click on another torch in our inventory. But again, I'm going to try not to get too ahead of myself. But you can see here the torch icon on the map down below. That is basically our current position. So we're in this room. The starting room will always be this kind of green archway. And basically, we want to move to this room. And these little 4 smaller dots are the hallway connecting it. And there will always be 4 blocks in a hallway. And each one of those blocks could have some kind of element in them. It could be enemies or monsters, if you will. It could be a trap. It could be a crate. Or other elements as well. Looking over here, you can see this little kind of golden, stretchy little bar underneath this guy. Reynold is basically indicating that we're focused on him right now, and the elements attributed to him can be seen below here. So we can change his name. I'll probably do that later. His class is underneath the name, so he's a Crusader. Pretty cool. There's a few classes in this game, all of which, you know, balance each other out quite nicely. And have their own strengths and weaknesses. This is the skill bar here. So we're not in a fight right now, so we can't use them. I'll delve into them a little more as we actually get into a fight. We have our health here, so 33 hit points. And we have what is a might want to let me right click it here. Actually, let's get out of that for a second. This here underneath it is it's stress. Stress is a hugely important component to this game. Just as important, maybe even more important than HP at times. And you're kind of like, well, if you don't have HP, you're dead. But it's just one of those things. It's think of it as your mental health, your mental hit points, if you will. Except instead of being reduced, it'll increase. The higher it goes, the worse it is. So by the time you get to 100 out of 100, you start to lose a bit of control of your party members here. Now we currently only have 2 party members, but we can have up to 4, and obviously that's gonna help us in a good many ways. But it also can make it a little more difficult at times because you have to manage them and provide resources for them. So the more party members, the more resources you have to consume. So, but I think most people would agree that you want a party of 4 people. That is definitely ideal if you want to succeed in this game. So those components are there. Underneath we have all these attributes as well. So ACC is short for accuracy. We've got critical chance, damage, dodge, protection points, and speed. So all of these play into these different skills we have, weapons, and how much damage we're going to do, our likelihood of avoiding damage or just withstanding it. This game, I don't know, maybe it's 2D. It's not some crazy 3D isometric weird looking game, but it's not shallow. It's not a shallow experience. These things all play a big and important role in how successful you're going to be. And I'm still learning kind of more about this stuff. That whole element of the game is quite confusing. You can crunch a lot of numbers. But anyways, here we have our every character, every hero, if you will have a weapon and armor, which we can later upgrade. And as well, they can carry 2 additional items. So basically, these are trinkets, and we'll find these later, or you can even buy them in our town, which we're going to find our way back to. The last component that is kind of hidden away is this, I kind of consider it like a state of mind. Basically, the more stressed you get, and based on certain events and diseases and things that you'll encounter throughout your play, they will kind of show up here. So we can get rid of these in town. Again, I'll show you that when we get to that point. But just starting out, you can already see that our Crusader here, he has the negative trait of God-fearing. So in town, we'll only pray for stress relief. So when we go back to town, again, not trying to get too into it, but there are ways that you can then reduce your stress, which, again, is important. But basically, this is saying that he's very limited in that there's only one way for him to relieve his stress, rather than, come to think of it, there's actually a total, I think, of 6, if I've been doing the math in my head right. So 6 versus 1 is, that's a big difference. So there's ways to get rid of this in the sanitarium. As well, prone to stealing items. So you'll see that sometimes you'll loot a crate or something like that, and rather than put it in your party's stash, they can steal it for themselves. Kind of a dick move, but again, we can get rid of that if we choose. It's not the worst thing to have right now, to be honest. It's probably not super common. But there's also positive traits, right? So Warrior of Light above 75, he does plus 10% damage. So right now our light is actually at 100. So as long as it stays above 75, the damage he does is going to be an additional 10%. That's a good thing. Don't want to get rid of that, that's for sure. And of course, over time, if I go back here, you're going to see a lot of things on either side will be added, assuming that we're able to keep Reynold alive here. Dismas, not sure how to pronounce a lot of the names in this game, as you will see, but different class here. He's a highwayman, so he's kind of like a rogue, thief, thuggy type guy. But he's really cool. He's got a little pistol here, and he's got a dagger. He's actually one of my favorite classes to have. You'll see his skills. Just fairly effective. I like him. Again, he's got a weapon, he's got armor, and there are different trinkets that are specific. All the trinkets are specific. Almost all the trinkets are specific to classes, I think. And then there are other more common items that anybody could use, like boots or something of that nature that might that will affect stats, maybe increase speed or increase dodge, so on and so forth. So there's that. He different stats than the Crusader. He's got lower health. They both start with 10 stress, but he's got different damage, different dodge, speed, all that stuff. And if we come to his state of mind here, he's got hard noggin, so plus 15% stun resist. So certain enemies will have moves that might stun you. So he's a little more resistant to those moves, which is not a bad thing, because basically when you get stunned, it's going to skip his turn. And then quick reflexes, plus 2 speed. The only negative thing here we have is he's not allowed to gamble while in town. So gamble is one of those other elements or methods of removing or reducing stress. So that's not as bad as this guy only being able to pray to get rid of stress. He's still got a lot of options, but it's still not a good thing to have. So we're gonna try and get rid of it at some point, I'm sure. Over here, we have the map. So at any time you can press M to get to the map, and then this tab here is your inventory, or you can just press I rather than clicking on the tab. And right now you see that we only have some food, and food is used to restore your health. Both of these guys have full health, so we can't use it. Another thing to keep in mind is that you can only use food while not in combat. So there are other things that you can use to help your heroes in combat, like bandages and anti-venom potions and herbal medicine. That kind of stuff you can use during combat or outside of it, but food, no, you cannot. Anyways, that is that. That's kind of pretty much the user interface or the head-up display right now. Last thing here is it's telling us our current quest. So the old road, find your way to the hamlet. So we're going to do that. You can either click to move forward, click and hold I should say, or you can do WASD, which is most of the time my preferred method. But hey, if you want to grab a cup of water or gin or something like that and have it in your one hand, that's fine. You can play this game with your other hand, assuming you have two hands. If you don't, I apologize. That really sucks.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path.
All right.
The hamlet is just ahead.
This narrator guy, he's got a nice, lovely voice. So hallway movement, this is just explaining a lot of stuff I just explained. So while in the hallway, press D to move forward, A to move back. If you prefer the mouse, you can click da-da-da-da-da. So you see I clicked this next room is the one we want to go to, so it puts us in this hallway leading up to it. So we're going to move through this hallway, and right now we don't really have any scouting going on, so we're in the dark, if you will. We don't know what is going to happen in these 4 spots. Anything could pop up. So we're just going to move, and you can see there that little bit of stress. As we're moving, he got stressed.
This thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Alright, so kill the enemy. Combat is turn-based. On your hero's turn, click a skill icon and then click on a highlighted target. If you can't select a particular skills because that hero needs to be standing in a different spot or there are no valid targets, mouse over the skill to see the requirements. So at first, this is actually a bit of an easy thing to kind of mess up. But first you can see this guy is surprised. That's what the little surprise or the icon above his head is. And remember, monsters surprised, so we had an increased chance of having of surprising the monster, which is always good. You want to surprise the monster, it catches them off guard. And why wouldn't you want to catch somebody off guard if you intend to kill them, right? So looking at the skills here now, some of them are kind of colored in or are available to select. The reason for that, if you look under each one, So you see open vein 1. Just above it, on the left side, you see 3 kind of yellow golden dots, and to the right side are 2 red dots. Basically, the left side means you can use this skill from the first 3 spots or positions, right? So let's just pretend we had all 4 people in our party. That means that Dismas could use open vein if he's either in the first spot where the Crusader is, where he is now, or where the person would be behind him. If he was in the 4th spot in the very back, he wouldn't be able to use this, okay? The red dots on the right side basically mean who he can do this skill to in terms of the targets. So again, assuming there were four enemies total, 4 monsters total, he could only apply it to the monsters in position 1 and 2, you know, the first 2 positions. The guys in the back, he's not able to reach them. So here you can see this skill he cannot do. For a second I was thinking it was because he was in the wrong position. He's in the right position on our side to do it. He can do it from position 2, 3, or 4. However, he cannot do it to a target that is in position 1. It only applies to position 2, 3, and 4. So that's why he cannot do that one. This one, again, he can do from his current position 2, or he could do it from position 3. And then this last one, take aim, he can do it from any position. And it's more of like a self skill. So when he does it, it just increases his accuracy and 5% chance to a critical hit. So that's why there are no red dots there, because he's not targeting an enemy, he's just targeting himself. The last thing to keep in mind with these skills, Grape Shot Blast 1. Here you see it's ranged, its accuracy base is 75, damage mod is minus 50%, and critical mod is minus 7%. That stuff, I don't know why I listed that, that's not important to the point here, but basically what this means is whatever our normal damage is, it's going to be minus 50%, and whatever our normal critical modifier is, it's going to be minus 7% chance. But it's a multi-targeted hit, right? So we're sacrificing hitting one guy with a powerful attack for hitting several guys with a slightly less powerful attack each. So rather than, let's just say we're doing 9 damage to one guy, instead this shot would do 3 damage to each guy. Now it's not going to work out quite that perfectly because the targets might all have different defenses and speeds and this and that. Some might dodge it, some might get hit, some will take more damage or less damage, so on and so forth. So that's where all these kind of attributes down here come into play, because these guys have different attributes as well. So the Brigand Cutthroat here, he has 15 HP, his dodge is 2, his speed is 3, his class, he's human. Some moves are stronger or weaker against certain classes of enemies. And then in the bottom portion you can see his resistance is to stun, blight, bleed, and debuff. Again, we'll get into those later, but the higher the resistance there for him, the worse it is for us. We want them to have a low resistance, or at least us to have a greater ability. And the last thing here is you see the 3 red dots for Grape Shot Blast. They're all connected by a line, and what that's your way of knowing that it's a multi-target shot. Whereas if I go over, say, Open Vein, it means I can attack the target in slot 1 or slot 2, but not both. Whereas this one it's going to attack slot 1, 2, and 3. Now, if there are only one guy here, I can still use it, but it's kind of wasted because I'm not hitting guys in slot 2 and 3, and it's going to be a weaker shot, so I might as well just use Open Vein. As well, I don't get to pick who goes right now. Who goes is based on things like, I'm pretty sure it's based on speed, but I could be wrong. Again, I like I mentioned earlier, I'm still getting a little bit used to how these attributes play into everything, and I'm just trying to make sure that I understand them completely, because it is going to be a very important part of the game. Without further ado, let's attack him. So we know his resistances, his HP, and all that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this open vein. I like it because it has an accuracy of 85, which is pretty good. The damage is minus 15%, which isn't that bad. But the plus side is you can see the target. They will bleed 2 points, so 2 HP points per round for 3 rounds. So that's an additional 6 points of damage they're automatically going to take. Now that's assuming that that effect takes place on him. So you can see his bleed resist is 25%. So we may hit him, but he may not actually be affected by the bleed portion of that attack. So we'll find out. We're just going to attack. Oopsies. Click it. And, oh, I forgot to click it because now you can see down below hero to hit. So we've got an 83% chance of hitting him. Hero to crit. Crit is short for critical. Don't get your mind out of the gutter. I know what you're thinking in your head and you're giggling like little schoolgirls. So 5% chance that will do critical, which when that happens I'll explain. But that's very good. But again, not super common, so I wouldn't rely on it. And then hero damage. So we could do anywhere from 4 to 9 damage on it. So let's just give her 6. Alright. And bleed. So you see the little drop of blood here. He's going to take 2 damage per round for 3 rounds. Assuming he doesn't get killed before that, which he will. He's not going to last 3 rounds. And now it is our Crusader's turn. So, similarly, you can see his different skills, which ones he can use. Right now, position 1 is actually the best for him, because he can use all of these skills, which is very good. Smite is one you can see underneath. If the monster type is unholy, it's going to do an additional 15% damage. So to find that out, you just hover over them. Where it says human, if he was unholy, it would say it there. But he is not, so we're not going to get that 15% increase, or buff, as they will call them. The accuracy is 80%. That's pretty good. And again, if we click it and hover over him, we're going to see... So... the base accuracy is 80%. So our chance to hit him is actually only 78% due to his speed, and you can also see that he has 2 points in dodge. Actually, that's why it's 78 rather than 80. Critical is still 5%, and our damage will be 6 to 13. So he's got 9 HP left, so we could kill him. We have a couple other moves. This is the Zealous Accusation is another chain move, so we can attack the first 2 targets at the same time with this. So the accuracy is 80%, but because we're attacking 2 targets, the damage per target is now reduced by 40%. So again, multiple targets, slightly less damage to each one. Stunning Blow is a good one because, well, it will stun the enemy and stop him from attacking for at least 1 turn. Of course, that means that our damage is greatly reduced, so we're probably not going to kill him with this blow, but it's going to allow us to attack him again without him attacking, which is nice. So you see there 2 to 5 damage, but our chance to hit him is 83%, and his stun resistance is 25%. So it's fairly likely that if we do hit him, we will also stun him. And then this last one is kind of a self skill. We just increase our torchlight by 5, which is really good there, and our protection is plus 20%, which is not too shabby. I'm actually going to try to stun this guy, just I don't want to take too much damage to our dudes. So you see it did 3 damage there, and now he's stunned. So he's going to bleed out, or he did. I don't know if he did yet, but either way, it's now our turn again. He doesn't get to attack because he's stunned. It's essentially he's paralyzed or confused, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to do another open vein, basically because it's good accuracy, and, you know, nothing wrong with accuracy. You like to bet on a sure thing, right? There you go. Most battles don't take this long, but I am trying to explain things as best I can and as thoroughly as I can, so I apologize. Things will speed up as we go through this series. But here, our victory, we went through the corpses, and we found 250 gold. I'll explain later what gold will buy you, but it buys you... Gold is very important. It buys you a lot of things in town. New items, improving your current weapons, buying new skills, upgrading skills, and also you have to pay for the different methods of relieving your stress. Excuse me. So it is quite important, and also the provisions when you embark on a new quest. You need to buy those provisions. So you can see our little torches going out with time. Unfortunately, we do not have another one, so we cannot increase it. But that's okay. This is a short little quest here. The old road is just a tutorial quest. Interactive objects. While exploring, you will often find interactive objects, so we can click them or press W to investigate them. Take a look at this tent. Alright, I'll poke my head right in there. Just gonna click it. Clearly, where the ambushers camp. So we can choose to ignore this. Excuse me. We can also drag items on here to use them. Could be, like I don't know. I don't want to... I'm trying to think of something. Like, if it was like a chest or something, we could use a key. Certain items might be trapped or whatever, so we want to attempt to disarm them, so on and so forth. But I don't really know what we would put here. I'm just going to check inside. So there's an extra.
Unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places.
Sorry, I just wanted to let the narrator finish his thought, because he likes to interrupt me sometimes. But extra 1,000 gold, that is awesome. That's good. I like it. Also, I'm gonna make use of the M and the I buttons, so I don't have to click these tabs all the time, and we'll just keep moving on. So here, as you can see, they said I could click on the door, or once I line up with it, I can just press W to go into it. So there we go.
An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned. And
oh my goodness.
Is no longer welcome.
So, you can see now that our torch is 68. One, the darker it gets, the more stressful we get. So that's not good. And two, the darker it gets, now instead of having plus 2 to scouting and plus 2 to monster surprise, now it's just plus 1 for each. So these guys weren't surprised, and scouting basically will allow you to see what's coming up before you actually get there, which is good for things like traps and monsters and all that. But now, of course, you can see we're actually in this room, and these dudes are in here. If we beat them, we'll get whatever they have on them. And as well, there's this chest which we can open. Could be trapped, though. Chests aren't always good, right? So this is good, though. We've got 2 guys now, so I can kind of show you the multi-target moves. If there were 3 guys, I would do Grape Shot. But, 1, there aren't. So it's not quite as effective. 2, these guys aren't equal. You can see the Brigand... Fusilier, I don't know how you say these things. I apologize, but whatever. This guy is a brigand fool if he thinks he can beat me. But so he's got 12 HP, dodge is 10, which is pretty good. Speed is 5. He's human, and then you see 25% for all those resists. This big mamma jamma, he's the bloodletter. 38 HP, dodge is garbage, which is good for us. His speed is 1, so he's slower, but he's stronger. And he has a higher stun resist, 50%. So that's not as good for us. I like to get the big guns out of the way. I mean, there's a lot of strategies, and I'm sure I'm going to change my strategy as I play more and more of this game. But I kind of rather this little ding-dong trying to hurt us for a bit. And just get this guy out of the way. Another thing we can do is if we have moves, certain moves can actually switch the positions of these guys, which will change the different skills that they could use on us. So, for ranged guys, you actually kind of want to get them up close, and then the melee guys, you want to push them back if you can, because it's going to limit their ability to attack you. I'd still like to stun this guy. 50% chance is not too bad. Pistol shot could be good, and it's got the 10% critical modifier, so not quite as much damage, but it could be critical, which is huge, because that's kind of like a stress relief in itself, getting a critical shot. So that, or I could try and make him bleed out. Actually, I think the first thing I'm gonna do, bleed out, and then let's go with the pistol shot on this big guy. So 7 damage, but unfortunately his 25% resist bleed was good enough. I think he just tried to do the same thing there. His gunshot, we resisted something. I'm pretty sure it's just bleeding out. So this guy, I want to stun him. That would be good. It's a bit of a chance, but I'm gonna try it anyways. Let's see. All right, so we did stun him. That is very good to stun these stronger guys. It's gonna give us a chance. So let's see if we can still. I want to make him bleed out. Let's try and do that. Yes, that is what we call a double whammy. So we've got both of those. He's not gonna stay stunned forever though, but it's gonna maybe give us a bit of a chance to get this guy. And now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna attack both. You'll see here. Oh shoot, I forgot. This big dude actually takes up more than one slot. He takes up 2 slots, so that's why it didn't work on both of these guys. But this grape shot blast, so this guy takes up slot 1 and 2, and then he's in slot 3. So this will work on both of these guys, or it should if they don't dodge it. But again, you see 3 damage and 2 damage. So not as much damage to one guy, but at least you're spreading it out. I'm going to try another stun. There we go. Just want to keep my HP up. And good, my guys dodged that. I like that. And he's still bleeding out. I think there's one more round. Yeah. So now he's no longer bleeding out, but he is almost dead. You can see that move caused these guys to switch positions. So in this scenario, I don't think it's going to be too bad, but depending on which hero you are, they now might not be able to do certain moves. But our Crusader guy is still capable of doing all of these attacks, which is good and fine. What I'm going to do, how much HP does he? He has 3. So I'm going to try this because I want to... Actually, no, I forgot that only works on the first 2 positions, which he's taking up, so there's no point in doing that. I'm going to just try straight up. Let's see if we can kill him with the smite, because there's no negative damage modifier. Critical, 24. Maybe I should have done that from the start, but you never know. So when we did the critical, it actually relieves our stress. It's kind of like, yeah, it's a morale booster. It's like, yeah, like, all right, we've got a chance. So getting critical is good. But again, I wouldn't rely on it because the odds are definitely not in your favor most of the time. But still. I'm just going to try and kill this guy as quick as possible. So you can see we only had this one skill. And the first hit that did 9 damage didn't kill him, but the blood or the bleed effect finished him off, which is nice, of course. So victory here. We got some more gold, and we also got 2 deeds. And when we take these back to town, they actually help us upgrade certain buildings and certain certain aspects of buildings. So, for instance, there's a blacksmith. And you can improve their armor smithing or their weapon smithing, and one of the components to upgrade that might be the deeds, or there's other items you'll see that will help with that. So you can see here, quest complete. We can click to exit the dungeon. However, if we look back at the map, okay, so there's only 2 rooms, so we have explored the whole dungeon. However, there will be some quests you'll be on, and it'll say, you know, to complete the quest, explore 90% of the rooms in the dungeon. So once you explore 90%, you can leave if you want. However, if you're doing well, you might say, well, I've only got 1 or 2 more rooms. They could have some pretty awesome treasures or a lot of gold or this or that in them. I'm feeling confident, so you can go and explore those if you want. Of course, you run the risk of potentially dying and losing your heroes and all that. It might not be worth it. It's all dependent on the situation. So, but in this case, we don't have anywhere else to explore other than this little chest. Don't forget to look for chests. So bandits trapped chest. Something doesn't quite look quite right with this one. So again, we could drag certain items to help with that. But let's see, he might be able to open the chest without getting trapped. No. So curses. What happened here? He got basically blight or poisoned. We could heal this if we had anti-venom potion, but we're about to go back to town anyway, so we really don't need to worry about this. The only thing that will carry forward from one quest to the next is the stress. So the next quest these guys go on, their HP will be up to the max, and any temporary buffs or effects, curses, stuff of that nature will be removed, fortunately, unless they have an item that kind of adds one. But anyways, we're just gonna click this bad boy here. And Bob's your uncle. So then at the end as well, when you complete a quest, there's always a quest reward. So the reward for this one was just plain and simple 5,000 gold coins. I would prefer 5,000 tons of gold dust, personally. That's it's a little bit better. But we'll take the coins. And you can see here as well, they just kind of tell you what you collected. So again, we only collected some gold here. We didn't get any fancy items or things like that. And then as well, these are all the different things that will heirlooms that we'll use to upgrade things in town. So we only got 2 deeds here, but sometimes you'll get portraits, deeds, and busts, and the little whatchamacallit thingies. Oh, good golly, why is it escaping me? But we'll see them shortly. So we've got what they call, resolve XP. So this is our level. When you go on these fights, you gain experience, and it's going to work ourselves up to eventually level 2 if we survive that, and then level 3, and level 4, level 5, level 6. But that's going to take a while. Leveling up is not an easy thing with these guys, because they can die pretty easily if you do not manage them. So stress, he's at 11, which is actually pretty darn good, and this guy's at 8. And if there are any other things, sometimes they might contract diseases while we're on a quest or whatever. It would kind of show up here and let you know. But nothing, so let's return to town. Doop 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 doop.
Such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Alright, so, you can see up here, the Mouth Estate. It's the best estate. Best West Coast, best coast? East Coast. I don't know, I'm not even on a coast. I'm on, well, sort of. Lake Ontario has a smelly coast. Anyway, sorry for being a ding-dong. Sometimes I do that. Alright, so when you come back, there's a few things that you'll be confronted with. So again, like I mentioned earlier, each quest consumes a week of time. So when I first started up this and you saw, the Ultra Estate, I was currently on week 21, so that means I've done 21 quests. Now, you might be like, wow, you survived that long? It's not really, I mean, you technically can keep surviving for a long time. But thriving is a different story. You'll see, because we'll continuously get new recruits. But, so in week 1, Dismas is now an apprentice highwayman level 1, and Reynold is an apprentice crusader level 1. And you also see, that I successfully escorted them to the hamlet. So that's good. Not a super eventful week 1, but that's fine. As long as nothing negative happened, I'm okay. Here you can see our caretaker he's got these goals and he keeps track of them. So quest goals here: defeat the apprentice necromancer, defeat swine prince, wizened hag, defeat the Necromancer Swine King Hag, Necromancer Lord Swine God, and the Hag Witch. So basically, the game is split up. You've got there's like Apprentice is kind of levels 1 and 2, and then I think it's Veteran is levels 3 and 4, and then Champion is 5 and 6. So these goals actually correspond to those. You'll kind of see that later, but basically, we need level 1 and 2 guys to defeat, these first 3 guys, and then by the time they get to level 3 and 4, they'll be able to fight these, the or new and improved Necromancer, and then by the time we're level 5 and 6, we're going to be fighting the Necromancer Lord. So that's crazy. I mean, I don't know if it seems like an easy thing, but it's not. As well, we've also got these general roster goals. So these are all the different classes of heroes we can have. So, get each one to level 6 is a goal. I've not gotten anybody up to level 6. I've gotten several guys up to, in that Ultra Estate game I have, I've got 4 guys at level 3 now. Almost at level 4 for a few of them as well, which is not keeping them alive has been a challenge, but I'm kind of getting used to it. So anyways, that's all that's going on there. So at any time at any time you want to get help, just hold down the H key. So that's H, it's telling us all this stuff, and depending on what screen you're on, it'll tell you different stuff. But return to game. If you click on the scrolls here in the bottom, it's always going to bring back up this activity log. And if we click on this chest, this is our trinket inventory. So we didn't collect any trinkets, but on some of these quests you will find trinkets. If you cannot apply them to a hero, if you just keep them in your stash, they'll eventually come back and be put in the trinket inventory here. So you can save them for a rainy day, if you will. The estate. These are all the buildings. Right now, we currently only have a few accessible to us, which are these 2 with these kind of indicators. So the stagecoach we just unlocked. So we'll come in here.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All
right.
will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Narrator. So Stagecoach is your hero lifeblood, so you'll need to recruit these 2 heroes to fill out a party of 4. Drag and drop them into your roster, which is on the right side here. When you're here, spend some of your starting resources on upgrading the Stagecoach network. This will increase the number of heroes available here in the future. To upgrade, click the plus icon, blah, 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 blah. I can tell you all that. So again, every time we come back to town from a quest, you'll see, well, at minimum 2 guys, or 2 girls, or a guy and a girl, whatever, do as you please. Nothing wrong with 2 girls doing it. 2 guys doing it is cool too. Guys and girls and guys. It's all good. Anyways, so we started with these 2, so I'm going to drag them over. Their names and all this stuff is kind of random, and the skills that they start with are actually randomized a bit too. So you're not always going to start with the same skills with each class, which is kind of cool. I like that. Moyo? I don't know how you say that. That's some crazy French stuff. She's a seeker vestal. She's like a nun, or like a paladin, a healer. I just think of her as a healer, because most of her moves are kind of holy. Yeah, like a healing paladin. She's very good at supporting you. Not so much about doing a lot of damage herself, but we've got other guys that can do that. So this is actually one of my preferred classes.
Battle, pious and unrelenting.
Yes, she's pious. She's so holy. And then Courtney is a plague doctor. Plague.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Plague doctor. Sorry. So basically, think like chemistry and like all these little potions and things like that. Also, kind of more leaning towards a support role to help other characters, but also able to kind of do things like blight and stun and whatnot, which are very important in and of themselves. It's not all about just doing tons and tons of damage, but you know, immobilizing certain targets and giving positive buffs to your guys so they can do more damage and things of that nature. So anyways, we move them over there. But you can see to upgrade, if we click this plus icon, upgrading the stagecoach increases the available heroes for hire each week or increases your roster size. So if we want to upgrade, you can see this is going to take 4 deeds and 4 crests. That's what I was looking for earlier. So we have 20 crests, we have 12 deeds, we have 10 portraits, and 10 busts. So these things are used to upgrade different parts of different buildings. So the stagecoach network is going to basically, if we upgrade this now, next time we come back to town, there's going to be 3 people to choose from rather than 2. Now you can't take them all because currently we have a roster size of 9. You don't see it here. That's kind of one of the things I wish they had an indicator up top in the corner here maybe, or below, where it said, you know, roster 4 of 9. But now you know, at least I told you. Here you can see we can increase it to 11, so that would be an additional 2. You want to have a roster because you need the heroes to go and fight, and you can't use the same heroes every time. Sometimes they need to stay in town and reduce their stress and things of that nature. You don't want to overwork them or they're just going to go completely insane and get themselves killed or get your other heroes killed, yada yada yada. Again, we will come to that when we get to that. Alright? But anyways, you might kind of be like, oh, I have the resources to do this right now. I would kind of advise against it. We don't need to upgrade either of these really right now. It's not super important, but the option is definitely there. So we're going to exit out of that. The other building here is that we've got is the graveyard. So
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
Yes. Currently this is empty, which is a good thing. We haven't lost any heroes, but as we lose them, they'll be here. We can come, you know, lay some flowers on their grave or something like that. Maybe a box of chocolates. Who knows? I don't know. What do you put on a graveyard or gravestone? All right, so that's there. These other buildings complete more quests to unlock. Just quickly go through them, even though we haven't unlocked them. So the Abbey here, think of it as like a little church. This is where you can go to relieve stress. And you can see this guy saying, please not again. He's afraid. Don't be afraid, man. Don't be afraid. But here you can kind of pray, or there's 2 other ways to relieve stress. It's for kind of those more pious and holy people. So the Crusader, he loves going there. I gotta rename some of these guys because I get Moyo. I don't know. She likes to go there. Most of them will, but sometimes they'll have the state of mind and it'll affect them. So they'll be all like, I don't like God. I'm not gonna pray. And you're like, well, I gotta relieve your stress somehow. So to do that, you could also go to the tavern where they can gamble, they can drink, or they can go to the brothel part of it. So that's a good stress reliever too, you know. Rockin' boots, rockin' socks. Why am I'm kind of trying to figure out what's that saying? Knockin' boots. If the van is a knockin', if the van is a rockin', don't come a knockin'. If the van's knockin', you've got a completely different problem. I would just get away from that van. But anyway, so this is the other area where they can relieve stress. The sanitarium is where we can remove those negative state of minds that, you know, might be a disease that is having a negative effect on our attributes, or maybe it's like something where, fear of God. This guy's got the fear of God, or God-fearing. If we remove this, then it removes the restriction of only praying to relieve stress. So that's a very important thing, actually, but we don't have it unlocked. Survivalist is going to help us improve our camping. Camping is an aspect of the missions that, like larger missions, you'll see. Again, we'll get to that later. What else? Okay, the guild. Guild is where you can learn new skills and improve existing skills. Very important there. The blacksmith is where you can upgrade your weapons and armor. Really, really cool. Really important to do that. And then you've got the wagon here, the nomad wagon. You can buy some pretty rare items. Definitely not cheap. And this thing, I don't know. I mean, you can highlight on it, but you can't. I've never unlocked it, so that might be something where it's not applicable in the alpha, or maybe just I haven't gotten that far in the game to unlock it. But even when you hover it, there's no name over it, right? Like all these other things have names, so I don't know. Maybe you can drop a comment and let me know if you know, because I don't know. But that's that there. So I could stop, but I want to do one like full-ish quest before we end this video, even though I'm taking my sweet time with all this stuff up to this point. Anyways, to start a new mission, stop complaining, Reynold. You know what? Let's rename some of these guys, because he complains a lot. I'm gonna name him Ryan. Which Ryan? I think you know which Ryan I'm talking about. Always complaining about dongs and whatnot. I'm gonna name. I don't know what you know what? I'm gonna name him Dante. Edmund Dantes. Edmund Dantes or Dante. Dante's pretty cool too. Let's just name him. Yeah, we'll just Dante. I like the name Dante. I can pronounce it. That's one of the things I like. Sorry, my nose is tremendously itchy. All right, there we go. He can be Dante. I'm gonna call her Yo-Yo because I don't know, Moyo. Yeah, you can be Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo Ma. And Courtney. This is a girl. She's got some boobs. She's packing some boobs. I don't know what I want to name her. Courtney. Let's name her. How do you spell paprika? That's how you spell paprika, right? Just call her Pappy for short. Those are good names. I like them. Okay, so that's good. I can pronounce all those. Let's go embark on a new journey.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
All right. So you see here the current map. This is the only available quest right here. We're already focused on it. So this is a skirmish. Unholy abominations turning the land against itself. Meet them in battle and learn how they fight. So this quest does not involve camping. So I was mentioning about that. If it's short, there's no camping. If it's like medium, there's camping. As well, you can see it is a apprentice level 1 quest. So we need guys that are apprentice to do it. If they're level 3 and become veterans, basically they're going to be like, what is this? A quest for ants? Like, they don't have time of day for quests that are lower level, which kind of sucks sometimes. Because you'll be like, well, my only guys available are all veterans, but they won't do this quest. You know, you'll have to make them do a veteran level quest. Keep that in mind. Though apprentices could try to do a veteran level quest. It's probably not going to end so well. So this is the only one currently available, though as time goes on, we'll have a few to select from each time we go to embark on a quest. So ruins we have available to us. The Warrens are currently locked, so explore other regions to unlock this one. As well, here, this one is locked. These two, the Cove and the Darkest Dungeon, they are both going to be added later. Again, I mentioned this is kind of an alpha, early access level game, so we can do as much as we want in these three, but these two are still just not available yet. We which is fine, I guess. You know, there's plenty of stuff for us to do. So anyways, this is the only one we have to do, and you can see the reward. If we complete it, will be 3,000 gold. We'll get 2 busts, and we will get 2 crests. So those, again, will kind of add up down here, and we can use them to upgrade different portions of different buildings back in town once we start unlocking more of them as well. And keep in mind as well, this is just like the guaranteed reward if you complete the quest, which is to complete 100% of room battles. We're going to pick up other, like, more busts and crests and deeds and portraits and stuff and more money and items as we actually do it itself. So we get to keep those as well, assuming we survive. So that's pretty cool. I think we'll just go into it. But yeah, when it says complete 100% of room battles, it just means, say there are 5 or 6 rooms in there and 2 of them have battles in them. You just need to go into those 2 rooms and defeat or complete those 2 battles. And the other 4 rooms we don't need to explore to finish the quest. Though we could explore them because we might want to pick up some more swag. YOLO. Anyways, let's do it. To actually embark, first we need to get our party going here. We've got our roster. You know, if we had 9 people here, we would have to pick 4. Of course, we've got 4 here, so I'm gonna put them all in there. Although we only need to put 1. Actually, that's not true. Oh, apparently we need 4. Why did I think before that we could do it with less than 4 people? Maybe I'm crazy. Anyways, I just put them like that, and you're like, okay, let's get ready, let's go. No, biggest mistake of all time. This is actually pretty much backwards of what I really want. If we right-click on each one of these guys, you know, you can see all these things affecting them: their stats, the equipment, resistances, class bonuses, the camping skills. Again, this is something we won't get into this episode. Next episode we will see this, so we'll just ignore these for now. And these are their kind of fighting skills or combat skills. Each one, you know, you as we mentioned, as I went over before, you can only use certain skills from certain positions, and they only affect targets that are in certain positions, right? So a nice little snapshot of the best position overall is right here. See, this guy, the Crusader, his preferred position is either 1 or 2. So that's fine. I guess that's good. Sometimes he'll be okay in 3 or 4, but basically there's no little yellow dot here, which means he's garbage if you put him in position 3 or 4, because he needs to be in position 1 or 2 to use this, 1 or 2 to use this, 1 or 2 to use this, 1 or 2 to use this. So either position 1 or 2, he's just as effective in those, so that's fine. But if he's in 3 or 4, he's useless. He's just a big old meat shield, meat bag. So I'm gonna want to move him to 1 or 2. I'm gonna put him 1 for now until I figure out if somebody else is better in 1 than 2. I already know this, but I'm gonna pretend I'm surprised. Right click on Dante. You can see his preferred position is 2 or 3. So we'll just look at these. You can do that from 1, 2, or 3, 2, 3, or 4. That one can only be from the first position, actually. So that's why this little circle here isn't completely full. Because he can only do 3, I think, of the 4 things. So that from 2 or 3, and that can be from 1, 2, 3, or 4. So we're gonna put him in position 2 for now. Yo-Yo, what's she at? This is one I like to put her in the back normally. These locks, we can unlock these in the guild once we actually unlock the guild and pay some money to unlock them. But her starting skills, she's got Judgment here, which you can use from position 3 or 4, 3 or 4 for Dazzling Light, 3 or 4 for Divine Grace, and 1 or 2 for Hand of Light. Hand of Light is pretty good, but I typically use her because she's primarily for healing and stuff, more of a support role. So I want Divine Grace and Dazzling Light is pretty good, and Judgment is pretty good as well. I want her doing these, so I'm gonna put her in the back. Sorry, I'm just doing a little bit of a stretch here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put her in the back for those, and not a big deal that she can't do Hand of Light. So let's put her in 4, I think, and then just double check Paprika. So okay, 3 is definitely her preferred position, which is cool. She can do Noxious. Noxious? Why does that sound weird? Noxious. Alright, cool. That's a word, I guess. She can do that from 2, 3, or 4. Plague Grenade from 2 or 3 or 4. Incision, okay, from 1, 2, or 3. And Battlefield Medicine from 3 or 4. So 3 is definitely, she can do all of these from 3. So that's ideal. That is definitely ideal. So we'll keep her in that position. That's good. That's good. That's a really good lineup there, because everybody's kind of in their most effective spot. So now we click on provisions.
Cost of preparedness.
Excuse me.
Now in gold, later in blood.
All right, good stuff. So this is where we get to basically pick our supplies that we want to take with us. They all cost money, so we have to be careful. You see here, for your first short quest, try bringing at least 8 food and 4 torches. They also take up spots. So we've got a total of, 16 slots. So we're gonna need some of these also to pick up the goodies that we find when we're going through this dungeon. Food. I'm gonna take. So let's start with 8 and 4, like they recommend. Oopsies, I can click that to remove one. For a shorter dungeon, I like to bring 1 shovel. And I'm also going to bring 1 skeleton key. I will bring well, we've got our little nun. So she's going to be able to help heal during combat, but it's always good to bring a bandage and anti-venom. Medicinal herbs, not quite as useful in this early stages as these two. I could bring more, but of course that's going to cost more, and we want to save money for later quests. Holy water, used to purge evil and restore purity. Again, this is something in the early game I just don't bother with. The shovel, and actually, you know what? We will take... Oops, oh crap, I meant to do that. There we go. We'll do a little extra, just in case. And then let's embark. Should be good. Once holy idols and shrines have been corrupted to favor pagan gods, holy water can help restore them to their rightful condition. So that's the holy water. Maybe I should have brought some, but I just.
And what better place to begin than the seat of our noble line?
It's one of those things I just don't quite care about as much. You know what? I probably should have, just to show, but we'll do that next time. So again, you can see we're starting here with a torch here. The only spot we have to go right now is this room here, but once we get to that room, then we get to decide, do we want to keep going north, or do we want to go east down this corridor, or we can go north and then come back and do that, which is probably what we're going to do, because we have to complete 100% of the room battles. You don't need to explore all of the rooms to know that you've completed 100% of the room battles. Once you have done all of them, the game will tell you. And then you can be like, well, there's 2 rooms left. I mean, I could just do them to find maybe some chests and things of that nature. But anyways, let's get a move on. All right. So we found a unburned torch. Sometimes there'll be more than 1 torch or more items other than torch. You might find some gold here. But that's a good thing to do, to find. Oh, of course.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
This is why I brought the shovel, because if you don't have a shovel, well, you can do it by hand, but that affects the health of pretty much everybody in your party by like 1 or 2 hit points. Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but I prefer to avoid it. And you can pretty much with every dungeon, you can bet that you're going to find at least one, pile of rubble at some point. Not always, but... Okay, well, we got our first surprise. We're surprised, and that caused us to shuffle, which sucks. It basically did a mere flipping. Not that gonna be that great for some of these guys. Here we can move back. We can switch. But right now, I'm actually just gonna... These are kind of lower level guys. You'll see, so Bone Soldier, Bone Rabble, Bone Rabble. 10 HP and then 8 HP. I'm not even going to waste the time right now to switch these guys out. I should still be able to defeat them. And this is the Grape Shot Blast is great for these kind of guys because it doesn't do a ton of damage, but these guys don't have a ton of HP, so it's going to help us. So when we click it, you can see it's going to attack these first 3 guys, and it's got that kind of little plus icon, so it's chaining them together. So that's how you know it's attacking all 3 of these targets rather than you're just picking which of these 3 targets to attack. So 4, 3, and 3, that's, pretty good for these guys. So now we've got Paprika here. So she's got, in this position, which is not her ideal. She should be in this position behind. But she can still do her incision, which I like because it's a chance to bleed. So 1 point for 3 rounds, which is pretty good. Though you always want to look at the enemy you're fighting because they might have a resistance to it. Or a high resistance to it. And you can see these bone dudes 100% resist for all of them. It's probably because they have no flesh, to be honest. Quite frankly, I don't know why they're wearing pants. It doesn't make much sense. They don't have junk to keep warm, They don't have to worry about a dog biting off their pecker. They ain't got no pecker. But anyway, so incision, I'm not going to attack them with this based on the bleed part. Though, it still does damage straight up, so it's still not bad to do it. The other thing here is I could do this ranged attack, which I can attack the 2 guys in the front, and it's got Blight. What is their Blight? Resistance is 25% for these guys, so that is also not such a bad thing. You know what? Let's give it a go. And the poison will damage them over time, so... Or sorry, it wasn't a chain. It was just picking one of the 2. Actually, so that worked. The initial hit damaged them, and then the poison damage finished them off, which is awesome. You can see Ryan back here. He's a useless turd. I'm just going to keep him back there. Honestly, I could switch him out, but then it would be switching out. You can only switch guys directly in front or behind of you. So it would be putting Dante in the very back, and he's not going to be super useful there either. Though, actually, I might have to, because if I pass a turn, you'll suffer stress because they'll feel useless. So, you know what? Screw it. Let's just do it. I think he can still use his gun, his pistol from back there. So, that'll be okay. That'll be okay. So, this is the one she can do some kind of damage up front. And it also, on herself, it's going to give 15% damage if they're unholy, which they are. You can see right under speed it says unholy. So that's actually a good thing to do. I'm going to do it on this front guy here. Boom. You done, son. Paprika taking a hit there. Alright, so you can see Dante, he can do his little take aim thing, which is cool. But I'm not going to waste time doing that because this isn't like a crazy fight. We're just going to do the pistol shot. It's minus 25% damage mod, but it's 10% critical mod. So that's cool. And we can do it on this guy. Our chance to hit is 80%. 50% critical and 3 to 8 damage. So if we get 8, he's dead. So he's not dead, but he's hurting. And you know what? Let's do it on this guy. Get him out of there. And you can see she just reduced her stress which is awesome. When they kill a guy, sometimes that helps them. They're like, yeah, woo, I killed him. Let's just do. I'm just gonna do the incision because it'll still do decent damage when we hit them. So 5 damage, and they're dead. So we got an anti-venom, which is cool. We got a jade, which is a little treasure with a value of 250 gold, and then we've got some straight up gold. Take all. Something to keep in mind is gold. You can have up to 1,500 gold in a single slot, and then it's going to start taking up a new slot. So, if you've got 50 gold taking up a slot, and then there's a treasure that's worth 1,000, it might be okay to switch out the treasure, or the gold, to drop the gold if you don't have any more space and take the treasure. But if you're just starting at a dungeon and you've got 50 gold taking up a slot, chances are you're going to fill that slot up to the maximum of 1,500 gold. So keep that in mind. Something we have to do now is switch everybody back into their right place, which we can do. Oopsies. Wait, there we go. We can do now. You go there. You go there, and then we'll switch these guys. There we go. The only reason they switched right from the onset was because they were surprised about those guys getting attacked. Torch is still okay though, so let's just keep going into the next room. Okay, so when you go into a room, sometimes there's chests, sometimes there's enemies, sometimes there's nothing at all. Nothing at all. I'm gonna do a new torch though, just so I can increase our scouting and all that stuff when we leave this room, and we're gonna move forward here. Alright. We should keep moving. Thanks for the hot tip, Quincy. Oh, I wish we had scouting. We would have seen that trap. And you see that obviously hurt him, but it also increased his stress, or her stress. Sorry, Paprika, you are a very lovely lady. Got another torch here. That's pretty nice. Decorative urn and urn holds ashes, blah, blah, blah. Optional, drag an item here to use it on this object. I'm just gonna not use my key. Wait. I said I was not gonna use my key, and then for some reason I decided to use my key. 'Cause I'm a dummy. It's fine.
Beyond measure, awarded to the brave and
Okay.
the foolhardy alike.
Shut up, narrator. So we got another jade. We got ruby, which has 1,000 gold value, which is pretty cool, and this onyx stuff, which is 500 value. Not too shabby. So we'll take all that. I missed my key already. So scouting. Ugh. So you know what? Let's do another one of these since we're going into a room. Maybe we might surprise some monsters if there are any, and there might be. There are. We didn't surprise them, but we didn't get surprised either, which is fine. I've got to think about this. So blight, bleed, and this is kind of a cure blight. So is blight resistance 25, 20, 20. Sorry, 25, 25, 20, 25. So we could do a blight move on them. Or I could cure blight, but nobody on our team has that. I like this one because it affects the two guys in the back at the same time. So we might actually blight both of them. So it's not going to do as much damage, but let's just give her a whirl. Alright, so the guy in the back resisted it, but at least one is going to receive 2 damage per round for 3 rounds. Yo-Yo. I like Yo-Yo. She's in a good spot. She could do Dazzling Light. She could do Judgment, which is going to heal herself 3 points, potentially, and also do some damage on the target she hits. But Paprika here is a little bit hurting, so we're going to do Divine Grace. So we can apply this to either Yo-Yo herself or any of our 3 other party members And I'm doing it to Paprika because her HP is suffering a bit from that trap earlier. So 3 there, you know, not the best, but it worked.
In a single strike.
When you get critical done on you, it increases the stress on party members as well. So it's not good when they get a critical. Let's do the grape shot. Yeah, let's just try and get these guys out of... Oh, alright, that sucked. They dodged. Maybe I should have done the take aim first. Did he just... Oh, I thought he pooped himself. Well, maybe he did. He's poisoned. We could do... Do we have any holy? Oh, this one is against unholy. So all of these dudes are unholy. So this is actually good. I'm just going to try and take him out as quick as possible. Because he's got a little more HP. Alright, good dodge, buddy. Good dodge. I'm going to try this again. Hopefully it connects. There we go. There we go. That's what I want. Stop throwing that. What was that? Was that wine? Or are you wasting wine? Alright, we're going to do this again because Paprika not having a good day. There we go. 5. That's a little better. Hey, man. That's not cool. Hey, leave Ryan alone. Ryan's a good guy. He's a good guy. A little bit useless sometimes, but watch this. Is going to be critical. Not critical, but it kill him. So that's good. And he's happy about it. Reduces stress a bit. Let us... This will only attack numero 3 here. Because nobody's in 4th position now. Nobody's blighted. You know what? Let's just go for this guy. Does 3 damage up front, and he's blighted, so he should die pretty soon, even if we don't attack him. That should be 2 damage for 3 rounds, and he's only got 2 HP, so let's, you know what? I'm actually going to do this range shot on this fool in the back. Since he's not blighted. Okay, stop. Oh, stop shitting yourself, buddy. It's gross. Alright. Stun, heal, anybody, stun, resist. You know, stunning these guys is not that... You know what? I'm just going to keep healing. Keep healing Yo-Yo every time, because they keep attacking her, and she's pretty weak. There we go, see? He died all by himself. This one is going to attack the people in the first 2 positions, so no unholy modifier, but it's still good. Killed him, hurt him real bad, and let's just do the incision. Let's see if that'll... Ah, Paprika, you're not impressing me so far. You're not. Alright, just do the quick open vein. Nice. Again, the bleed is not useful, but...
But a victory nonetheless.
Victory here, so you can see item here, Archer's Ring. So this is not class specific, which is sometimes fine. It's not going to be as powerful because anybody can use it, but it still might be good. So you can see for ranged attacks, it's going to have plus 20 accuracy, which is pretty good. But it's also going to reduce the critical by 1%. You know what? I think I might actually put that on Dante, to be honest. Yeah, it sucks that the critical will go down, but that's fine. Gold, and we got some crests and the jade here as well. So we'll take that. Also, a common thing, you'll kind of get that, and you'll be like, all right, I'm gonna move to the next room, but pay attention. There's sometimes chests and shrines and things like that. So, with your family's sigil, let's open this. It's trapped, you bastard. He resisted whatever it was, which is good. Because I don't like getting diseases and stuff. Alright, so we went all the way up here. We got to come back down here. And the check mark on a room just basically means you've been in there. You've completed it. So we're working our way back. If you right click and drag, you can kind of move the map around, and if you hover the mouse over and scroll in and out, well, you'll scroll in and out. Good to know. And this little button up here, center on party, will just center the map on wherever your party is. So now we're gonna come this way. Come sway this way. Hunger. The extortions the exertions of adventuring have produced a growing hunger amongst the party. So this, sometimes you get caught with your pants down. If you don't have any food, you don't have the option to eat, right? So you have to starve. But if you eat nothing, you take 20% damage plus the stress damage. Obviously, that's no good. And I bought enough food, at least for the short adventure. It should be enough food. So I'm going to eat, and that'll actually help us regain 5% health. So there we go. And at any time, I could feed one of these guys some of this food, and they'll go up HP. But for now, we're actually, you know, we're not in too bad of a situation. Oh, that's not helping.
Lie in wait.
I was
and thirsting for blood.
I was gonna say Paprika's the only one who's kind of considerably stressed, but now that Ryan here just got a nice spike up his bumhole, he's not feeling too calm right now. So let's see. Pack contains loot.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles.
So holy water,
blood.
which I meant to buy earlier, but now we've got some, so I can use it if we come across any sort of shrines and stuff to get them all cleaned up and whatnot. So we're just gonna take all that. We still got plenty of space, and of course we can drop anything if we run out of space and we say, well, I prefer to have this thing. But all right, another one of these, and before we move to the next room, yeah, let's do that up. Do it up, yo. So what's in here? Nothing, which is fine. Let's do one more, just so again
may we find victory.
we have a better chance of scouting here. No, sir, why aren't you guys scouting? Come on. Halt. Why did you say halt? Oh, all right. Why are we surprised, you idiots? Ugh. All right, well, at least she, Yo-Yo's still in the back. Let's just quickly do open vein on this guy. Please bleed. Yes, that is good. And I'm gonna, as much as I want to attack, I'm gonna switch these guys right now. Okay. That's not making me feel too good. The one thing I wish, because I did mention earlier that the skills are somewhat randomized, the ones you start with. Yo-Yo here, her class sometimes has instead of healing one person 3 to 5, you can heal the whole party 1 to 2, which I kind of like that a lot of the time. But we're just gonna Ryan or Dante. I guess you know what? I'll be nice and actually no, sorry. Gotta do Dante. Okay, that guy's bleeding out. Makes me feel pretty good. Ryan is getting close to dying. This one, these guys are just human, right? So 25% resist everything. 4 to 8 damage. You know what? Let's do this. Okay, sweet. That was good. It killed the one guy and it hurt the other guy a good amount. Okay, we're all getting attacked here. So, Death's Door. I'm kind of glad this popped up so I could show you guys at least. I don't know why they didn't change the name here. I guess it's because it's a tutorial screen, so whatever. But when a hero is reduced to 0 HP, they are at Death's Door. While in this state, they will suffer stat penalties, plus any further damage has a chance to kill them, heal them, and to get off Death's Door. So, not good. So he got hit there again. He's not dead. And a third time, Ryan is keeping it real. I'm not super happy about Dante either. I gotta heal somebody. I'm sorry, but I want... Oh, shoot. Actually, I wanted to... As much as I want to attack... Actually, no. It's still fine. I'm gonna attack. We gotta get rid of these guys. Because Ryan can attack from there, and Dante can still attack from there. A little more limited, but... should be fine. Let's do... That can attack last two, front two. Let's actually try and get this guy out of the way. I like reducing the number of enemies a lot if I can. If I can just get a guy out of the way, I do it. So this is gonna attack both. That's a good start. We've got a chance. Ryan might die. Okay. I'd honestly
And now the true test.
like you guys to not do that. I'd also love to be able to heal these guys, but apparently the game just doesn't want that. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, she's... Let's do front two. Do one of the front two. Accuracy 75, 80. Hit is 70%. Hit 65. You know what? Let's just try that. Oh, sweet. The initial damage was enough to kill him, so that's fine. Dodge is good. And we're gonna still heal him. I'm sorry, Ryan. But I like Dante a lot, too. And let's just go for the... Oh, wait. That's the best accuracy. Critical. Stress reduced a bit. Obviously, I like that.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Alright, getting 4 crests is actually pretty huge. Okay, so we're going to click on Ryan. Give him 2 food. 1 would be okay, but we'll give him 2. To make him feel a little happy, I hope. There we go. Confession booth. A Forsaken it hasn't been used in years. Maybe let's... Can I actually... I'm wondering, can I use... The ritual... There we go. Wait, what did that... I hardly ever use holy water, so that's kind of why the one thing I'm a little confused on, because I just don't like to buy it. But, Rusty Iron Maiden sends against the wall. I wonder if it'll work on this too. No effect. Okay. I wonder what else. Maybe nothing. Let's just try and open it. Okay. No bad stuff, but no good stuff either. Let's press M. Actually, let's go back here and do 1 torch. We've got 2 rooms left. Okay, another empty room. Let's do this one first. Clearly, we haven't completed... There's going to be at least 1 more fight because we haven't completed the quest. Bit of a bummer, governor. I don't have a shovel, right? So you can see here, I've got to clear this by hand, and that's going to hurt. 1, 2, 1, 1. That's never any fun. Okay. Inventory, let's do this again. None of these things will work. And I don't have my key. I used that earlier, but we can still try. It's trapped. Oh, shoot. Okay, he's bleeding out. So he'll die if I don't do something. But I've got bandages, so I'm just going to right-click one. Boom. He's fine. I'm not having...
Set the stage for
Shoot.
heroism.
Oh, no. Okay, well, they're surprised, which is good. I like that. But I was just about to say, I'm not really having a lot of good luck on this first run, actually. I'm not doing as well as I normally do. But it's okay. But most of that, I can actually attribute to my heroes getting surprised. And I forgot to put them in the right order before I continued on, which is kind of a bit of a dumb move on my on my part. So let's just switch these two right away. So now they're back where they were. I'm gonna heal Ryan for once because I'm gonna try and be a nice guy. And this unholy, these guys are unholy. So let's see if we can just these front two are both 8, so it doesn't really matter. So let's just go for this guy because I think no, it'll be the same either way. 14, that's good. He feels good about killing them. I could probably blight them, but again, I don't expect them to live too long. Let's just do this. It could do 47 damage, which will mostly kill him anyways, and somebody else will kill him. Okay, 4, that's fine. Of course, he resisted it. And resistances, you'll see later on, can go greater than 100%. It's kind of like a Diablo-esque, you know, like resist lightning damage 40%, and it can stack, and you got another 40%. You're up to like 300%, and you're like, what? So that's kind of the same thing that actually works in this game. You'll see guys with more than 100% resistance to something because you have more than 100% of like kicking ass with whatever. Anyways, I could attack both of these guys at the same time. A hero to hit 90% chance, 2 to 5. So not a ton of damage, but I like my chances of hitting them. And this guy's 1 HP left. Oh, you lucky son of a gun. So you know what? I think this is 80% chance. Let's just take him out. There you go. And we're going to heal Dante. Oh no, not Paprika. Darn it. Should have. I almost healed her. I should have healed her. But then he probably would have attacked Dante, so whatever, let's just crush him. Nice. So we got 2 food. Take that. There we go. And what's our torch? Okay. Actually, let's go back and do one more. And oopsies. Collect ourselves. Collect my fist in your face. Alright. Nothing in here, so we're just gonna come back and then finish the last room. So we have, I think, at least one more battle. Scouting. I'm disappointed that they've not scouted anything yet. When scouting, you'll see it. Yeah, you can eat. You'll see when it happens. You'll see all these like rooms will fill up, so you'll know what's in the room. Not all of the rooms, but a few of them. And then the same thing for the hallways. You'll see like traps and ambushes and crates and things. So it's very useful. It's very useful. Just keep going. Oh, see, we maybe would have seen that coming. Yeah, we want to do the grape shop last, I feel, because 90%, 83 for this guy in 3rd position. He's unholy. These guys are human. But yeah, let's just get hopefully a good start. 445 is a really good amount of damage for 3 guys. He's bleeding. I've got do I have another bandage, or did I just buy 1? I hope I bought more than 1. I've got none. So I gotta keep these guys healed. I'll be nice to you. Hopefully I get to heal him soon, because he's gonna die very soon. Very soon. Actually, wait a minute. So Paprika, I can cure one of my buddies here that has blight or bleed. So I'm gonna do that rather than attack, because I don't want them to die. So, and since he's got a little more HP, that's why I didn't do it. But I'll probably do it to him next time. Just double check. Yeah, no. Bandages. This guy's unholy, so I'd like to do this, but I won't reach him. So let's do the Zealous Accusation and do a double whammy on these 2 jabronis. Or I could try and stun. What's their stun resistance like? 10. You know what? Let's just do this. Just gonna try and kill them. They're not so strong, so stunning them is But although their bleed ability is not fun. Let's do another one of these. Oh, so close.
Teetering on the brink.
Alright.
Facing the abyss.
He's about to die. I need to heal him. I need to heal him real bad. I don't want Ryan to die. So, at least cure this. That partially saved his life. Now, you can do that. That was very good timing. And now you can do this and take both of those guys out. And this guy's going to have a righteous fun time from a nice little open the vein. Thank you. 2 busts, 2 crests, and we got some Emmy, which is nice. We'll take that. And let's just keep going. Oh, dear Lord. Alright. Food, which I have none of. That sucks.
Gasping.
Smell of gangrene.
Into madness.
So this, I'm kind of glad this happened too. Afflicted, so when heroes can't take the stress anymore, they become afflicted. This manifests in different behaviors and stat changes. Afflictions last until you send them to treatment in town, unless you can reduce their stress to 0 during the quest. So when they kill things and blah blah blah, get critical hits, it can reduce their stress. And then there are different stress relievers in town. We're almost there. I could abandon the quest now, but that would be the sissy way out. So let's just, oh wait. Yeah, let's just hope there's food in here, maybe.
Finding
No
the
food.
stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Alright. So there's probably gonna be a fight in here, because we still haven't completed the quest. Oh, but there's a chest too. Alright. I just don't want anybody here to die. Though I haven't put any sort of upgrading skills or upgrading their armor or weapons or any of that stuff. So if somebody did die, it's not the end of the world to have it happen right near the start when they're only like level 1. Anyways, we've got human unholy, human unholy. These guys are surprised, which is definitely good. I think what I'm going to do is 80%. What's the 90%, 90%, 83? I like my chances there. Not a ton of damage, but it's a good start. Let's see here. I'm going to do this to the guys in the back. Hopefully they both get afflicted. Alright. Resisted, but he's going to hurt a little bit. And I'll heal you up. Oh, no. Healing is a disease, I tell you. This is what happens when they get so stressed. And yeah, he's like irrational, or she's irrational. So sometimes they will deny healing and stuff. And it's really annoying. Because they might die. But it is what it is. Can't do much about it right now. This guy is unholy, so I'm just going to try and take him out if I can. And I did. There we go. He feels good about that. Paprika. I'm not liking your attitude right now, if I'm to be honest. At death's door. We already knew that. The Lob Lolly is dead? Huh? Right. These guys are all pretty stressed from this, because they're all pretty weak. They've been having a rough time with traps and getting surprised by monsters. This is actually, in recent memory, probably been the toughest, like, first full dungeon I've had to do. Things have not been going my way. I'm not gonna heal Paprika. Gonna heal Ryan, because she might deny it, and she can suck it. This is still 90%. Let's just give her. Alright, that was a better one than the first one. Quickly staunch the bleeding and get me leeches. You didn't want to get healed earlier. You said it was the disease. Alright, death blow. Alright. Feel bad about
For the slightest lapse in
is basically saying discretion. I could have retreated or abandoned, blah, 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 but I'm not about to do that because, again, this is earlier on. So, you know, whatever. And this little flag here, I can say retreat from combat, but I don't care if Paprika dies now. If she was level, like, 1, 2, 3, they're, like, you know, higher, then yeah. But no, not now. Not now. Let's just do this. Alright, we're close to the end. This guy's almost done. Yo-yo. You're cool. This might kill them both. And it did. There we go.
This expedition at least promises success.
Deed, Emmy, and this gold-like substance. Take it all. So now the quest is complete. We explored the whole dungeon anyway, so you know, and then we'll go in here. Yeah, of course it's trapped. Resisted, that sucks. Let's just go back to town.
Room by room, hall by hall, we reclaim what is ours.
Oh, that's a good stretch. Look at all those heirlooms we got. We got a fair amount of treasure. So the quest reward is automatically 3,000 gold, 2 busts, and 2 crests. But we also collected 5,300 worth of gold, which is not that bad. And then all these heirlooms to upgrade other stuff with. So that's cool. You can see Paprika's dead. That sucks, but she was irrational because she got hit by spikes and all these other things to increase her stress, and sometimes it's hard. You can't do too much about it. Yo-yo, I mean, these guys are all pretty much stressed to the max, which sucks. 99, Wayne Gretzky, the great one. But they did get experience, so they're almost halfway to level 2. But this was her first mission, so she only got 2 of 8, which is okay. Although there should be a little white indicator, like a little line, but whatever. These masks also. So he picked up Dark Temptation, so prone to investigating the dark arts. Slayer of Mankind, because Dante, I guess, killed some humans, so that's a good thing. So whenever he fights humans, he gets plus 10 accuracy and 3% chance, additional chance to critical hit. That's a good thing to have. And now Yo-Yo is God-fearing along with Ryan. You guys are afraid of God. That sucks. Alright. Back to town.
Something long absent in the sunken faces of passers-by. A glimmer of hope.
So Yo-Yo's now apprentice. The Abbey is unlocked and the tavern is unlocked. So we're gonna get a quick glimpse at that, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So let's look at the Abbey first.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful.
So basically this is one of the 2 buildings to help with stress relief. Heroes relieve stress by taking part in activities at the tavern and the Abbey. Each activity has different side effects. Experiment to find the best for each hero depending on their quirks. Coolio, Julio. Our little caretaker here, sometimes he's hanging out here, so he'll be taking up a spot, which kind of sucks. Because you might have somebody who can only relieve stress through meditation, for instance, and you're like, well, the caretaker's here, so they can't relieve stress, and that affects you. So it's kind of like a little, like, fuck you, pardon my French, from the game sometimes. A little unpredictable, and you can't get around that, right? You could be the best player of all time, but maybe this is just going to screw up your next run because, you know, your best little hero, you can't get stress relief. Anyways, he's there. Yeah, shut it. How much money? We have 13,000. Not a lot, but it'll do for now. Also, actually, if I click here, you can see we can upgrade these to we can increase our stress recovery, increase our stress recovery for each of these. Eventually we can open up these so that more than one person can be in the cloister at a time, or the transept at a time, or the penance hall. So that's cool. And yeah, just increasing your stress recovery, because these guys are all stressed pretty much to the max. So after they come out of there, they might be, say, like, oh, they've reduced their stress by 65. But Yo-Yo here, she's 99. You 99 still? Yeah, 99. So I'd rather her just get rid of all that in one shot. So to do that, we can upgrade these. But for now, actually, let's not do that just yet. Let's go to the tavern.
Fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
Same thing here. Some people like to relieve stress by drinking, by gambling, or by getting it on. And similarly, we can increase the stress recovery for each one of those, which is not a bad thing. But before I go and put anybody in there, I like to go to the stagecoach and get my new dudes. I'm going to take both these because we have room in the roster. Bounty Hunter, and she is, what is the, oh yeah, the Grave Robber. They're both okay. The silly thing is, like I was saying, that was actually a ridiculously stupid first main quest or real quest, because most of the time I can come out with one, all 4 guys, and 2, they won't be stressed to the max. All those very silly traps and no scouting and blah blah blah, getting surprised has a hugely negative effect. So this is going to be a hard run to get a good start with. Well, we got a bad start with it, so we'll see. I'm going to need to keep 2 of these guys in the next quest, so it's gonna be she's super stressed, but I need to keep her. Healing is huge, so I'll probably put Ryan or Dante. You know, let's put Dante in one of these. So you can see I put him in Penance Hall, cost 1,500. If I put him in the transept, it's 1,250, and if I were to put him in the cloister, it would be 1,000. Although he can't go in there right now. So this one, you pay more, but you get more stress relief. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it. So now I can't use him for the next time I embark. And I need 4 people. So as much as I want to put these guys in, I can't. I should have maybe... Actually, let's think about upgrading. Yeah, available heroes. I'm actually going to upgrade this. Just one.
More arrive, foolishly seeking fortune and glory in this
So,
domain of the damned.
Next time I come back from a quest, there should be 3 people here for me to pick. I probably should have done that before I went on that one quest there. So then I could have put an extra person... either Ryan or Yo-Yo into the stress relief program of their choice. But, and I could have upgraded to 2, and then I would have had 4, and then I could have put both of them in. But, no worries. We'll figure it out. You don't have to complete a quest either. But you should. That's why I'm stressing out a little bit here, man. You gotta put me. You gotta make me go and pray. Maybe I'll go to the brothel. I don't know. But, that's going to do it for this episode. There's still a few more of these buildings to unlock, obviously, and a lot more quests to do. And hopefully we can do some good stuff. But for now, we're just going to kick back. We're not going to kick back. Well, you can kick back on the next video, whatever you're going to watch. Maybe it'll be one of mine. Who knows? But, I will be coming back to play this game quite frequently. I very much like it, and I want to learn all the ins and outs of it. So if you have any tips and tricks that I haven't covered, at least in this first video, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Of course, I haven't mentioned everything I know because we haven't gotten to those certain portions of the game just yet. So keep that in mind. But yeah, we'll see what we uncover in the next episode. Until then, peace out.